welcome to another vlog style video. This is the start of a new series I decided to do called Dating After Divorce. Carrie Bradshaw style, I'm going to take you through my journey of potentially finding love again. I figure if nothing else, maybe it'll be entertaining. I was starting to get ready and I thought, you know what, let's sit down and I will get ready, do my everyday makeup routine while we chat. I had sworn off dating for life, and that was not just me saying it. I really felt that way at the time. Not only was I not looking, I was openly hostile towards men. And then I met somebody unexpectedly, and that really threw me for a loop. I was not prepared, I was not expecting it, but what it did teach me and show me is that maybe I could find love again. Like, I don't know, I get it. Like, there's no feeling that quite compares. But on the negative side, I also learned some things about myself. First, I have an anxious attachment style. I've been out of the game for so long, I didn't know that about myself. The other thing that I learned is that I have quite low self-esteem, and I really do believe that you date at the level of your self-esteem. And I'm sure we've all heard the advice at some point in our life that you have to love yourself first before you love anyone else. And that advice to me has always just felt so cliche. And like, what does that even mean? And how do you know if you love yourself enough? Like, there's kind of a lot to unpack there, and that's going to be the first phase of this project, because I really do feel that I want to be so happy, so content alone, that if anyone else were to enter my life, they would just be an added cherry on top, not something that I need to feel happy. I want to have a very full and complete life on my own. But again, what does that mean? How do we do that? Okay, now let's get down to business. I have a plan. So there's phase one, phase two. Phase two will be when I actually go out there and start dating. But before we get there, I need to work on myself first. So I have a 4-point plan of how we're gonna get there, and you can follow along at home, because even if you're married in a relationship, it is always going to benefit everybody, your kids, your husband, yourself, just to really have a full life and be able to love yourself, validate yourself, and not need anyone else. The first part of Project Best Self, that's what I'm calling it, is looking your best. Not for him, not for the male gaze, but for us. Like, I feel the most confident when I look my best. So for skin, there's a few things that I've been doing, because if you've been following along, I've stopped Botox and filler. So I've been doing the LED red light naturally stimulate collagen 4 to 5 times a week. It's just 10 minutes a day. And then I'm also doing and experimenting with face taping. I have a whole video coming soon. I've been doing it for a month and recording the whole process and comparing different types of face tape and doing before and afters to see if it makes a difference. And then I'm also doing ingestible skincare, which sounds crazy, but it's been working. Like, I'm loving it. And it is the Ritual HyaCera. So you guys know that Ritual has been a long-term partner of mine. They're doing their Black Friday Cyber Monday deal early, so you can try anything on their site for 40% off. But the HyaCera, I know that sounds kind of crazy, like ingestible skincare. They have done clinical research. I will show you the before and after photos that show how effective this is. There's 2 clinically studied ingredients in here. There's HyaBest, which is your hyaluronic acid, your hydration, and then there's Ceratique, which is your ceramides, and those both work together and help give you that glow and radiance and reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles from the inside out. And I actually keep it here by my sink, so I do it at night. And I will say this, I have never received so many compliments on my skin as I have recently. So this for me is the magic secret ingredient that I'm just loving, and it's such a cool, innovative concept. You know, Ritual's done the research. They're so far above and beyond any other supplement brand. Like, they do the third-party testing. Everything is based on research, and you can even individually trace every single ingredient, the source, where it's coming from, why they've included it. If you've seen me talking about them in the past and you've been on the fence about it, now is the time to try it, because 40% off is the biggest deal that I've seen them offer. I also do the Symbiotic Plus. It helps me with my bloating, my overall digestion and immune health. And then I do the stress relief. I kind of do that one as needed. So again, you could try it for 40% off. I will have my code and link down in the description box and also as the first pinned comment. So I have been loving this. So that's skin. Now for my hair, because I feel like if my skin and hair look good, then I don't need as much makeup. And I also feel like makeup ages me. So I try to wear less heatless rollers. I keep talking about them. I have a video where I do a tutorial. I just feel like every day I take this out, no heat on my hair, and I feel like I've gotten a bouncy blowout. For my body, I do the rebounding 10 minutes a day. I do the jumping because it's as effective as 30 minutes of walking or jogging in just 10 minutes. So I'm trying to work smarter, not harder on that. I do Pilates twice a week, and then I had ChatGPT design a custom at-home weightlifting plan. So I do that on days when I'm not at Pilates. Next on our list of Project Best Self, phase 1 is we want to be booked and busy. Now this is a little bit tricky for me because I'm an introvert. I just love to be at home. Like, I don't like to be busy. But what I am going to do for this is I'm aiming to have one fun thing a week that I do with friends, and I'm just going to plan it and then invite my friends and see who can join me. So I'm kind of like taking the lead in the things that I want to do that could be fun, like things outside of my comfort zone. I would like to meet somebody in real life, have a little meet cute moment. But how am I gonna do that if I don't leave my house? So I wanna do a cooking class and get more into cooking. And actually, as we chat, I'm going to make my current lunch hyperfixation. Just so this is not me just talking to the camera the entire time. Have a dopamine menu. So literally make a list. I have it in my phone of all the things that make you happy and do at least one of those things a day. And it could even be a cup of coffee in the morning. I love reading by the pool, and so important, something I feel really strongly about is be interesting and interested. If you can be a woman who is more than just a pretty face, who has depth, who has something to say, who is knowledgeable on different topics, that will make you so far above and beyond. And that is something that never ages, that never gets old. So what I'm doing for this, you guys know I love reading, but for the most part I was reading a lot of like fiction books, not things that were necessarily like making me smarter. So now what I do is at any given time, I'm reading one book for fun and just enjoyment and to relax, and one book to learn something and grow. Usually what I do is I will either listen to that book or I will read that during the day. So as I eat my lunch, I try to read for 30 minutes during the day. I'm reading this really interesting book. It's called How We Got to Now, 6 Innovations That Made the Modern World. And it's so interesting. I just like having that spirit of curiosity and always trying to learn and have that growth mindset. Okay, so here's my current lunch hyperfixation. We have rice, black beans, chicken sausage, bell pepper, there's some spinach, onion. I eat lunch by the pool, and I do a little reading, okay? We're growing our mind, we're eating healthy food, and we're having fun. That's my idea of a good time. Okay, last thing I want to discuss in episode 1 of my Dating After Divorce series is the key lessons that I've learned that I need to remember while it's fresh in my mind. And yet again, we have notes. Number 1, 3-month trial period. You do not know anyone for at least 3 months. They are just giving you their representative, their very best self. So you have to try your best to not get attached. Like, I am legit going to see it as just an observation period. Huge, huge, huge thing. One of the biggest things in dating that is not talked about enough is how to spot and watch out for avoidance. They are everywhere. I read that 60 to 75% of the male dating pool are avoidance. And if you don't know what that is, if you're not familiar with attachment styles, I recommend you read this book called Attached. But basically, those are the guys who are going to seem perfect and everything's great for about 3 months, and then once it starts to get too serious, too close, they cut and run, they get overwhelmed, they can't give you what you need, they cannot handle that closeness, and you can spot them earlier on. Next is you have to get really good at dismissing someone who's not right for you. I feel like sometimes we tend to hang on too long, we make excuses for them, we justify certain things. The longer the time you waste with the wrong person is blocking you from eventually getting to the right person. And then I realized this is probably my fatal flaw, and that is don't overcorrect. This is what has happened to me in my dating life. Like, whatever ended up ending the last relationship, I overcorrect for and focus on that quality and ignore everything else. So for example, I was with somebody who was very serious and couldn't laugh, couldn't have fun, and so that relationship ended. And so then I was out here looking for someone who was funny and fun, but what I did is I overcorrected, and then I ignored the other qualities that are important. And sometimes somebody will seem good in comparison. They weren't as bad as the last guy, but it doesn't mean that they are the right person for you. And again, like at the end of this, I don't even know if I will end up with anyone. I kind of want to lead the movement of single and happy, single by choice. But just for the sake of fun and doing it for the plot, like I do have some fun ideas for things that I want to do. Like I'm kind of just doing the research for what it's like out here in the world dating after divorce. I've heard horrible things, especially about the apps. Remember guys, I have been out of the game for over 10 years. So I'm kind of just seeing what's going on, and I hope it will be an entertaining series. So that's going to wrap up the first episode. And if you do want to try the Ritual HyaCera skincare supplement, ingestible skincare, which I've been loving, you can try it for 40% off. It is their biggest deal of the year. They also have an amazing women's daily multivitamin. I love their stress relief and the symbiotic plus. They have a protein powder. There's so many options. I will have my link and discount code down in the description box. So with all of that said, thank you so much for watching, for being part of this journey, and I will see you soon with a new video.